I'm Dan Sutter. I'm the Charles Koch Professor of Economics with the Johnson Center for Political Economy here at Troy University. I've been working on the area of the societal and economic impacts of tornadoes for about 15 years. Well, the most recent study published was in the International Journal of Mass Emergencies and Disasters. And what we were specifically trying to do is build on some earlier research that my co-author Kevin Simmons and I had conducted, where we had looked at the effect of tornado warnings on casualties. And we found that when a tornado warning was issued, it was saving lives. Tornado warnings are issued immediately in advance of a tornado. So the average lead time on a warning is about 14 or 15 minutes. That's a very short time for people to react and respond. So tornado watches are typically issued anywhere from 2 to 4 or 5 hours in advance of a tornado to just, in effect, highlight when conditions are going to be favorable for tornadoes to develop. Specifically, what we were trying to do in this statistical analysis, we have about 20 years of tornadoes, and we knew which tornadoes had warnings issued. We knew which tornadoes occurred within a prior issued tornado watch box, and we were trying to investigate the effect of watches above and beyond the effect of warnings. And we were unable to document any additional savings in lives or injuries, or any additional lives saved or injuries avoided by the issuance of a tornado watch. And again, we couldn't find any effect that watches were making warnings more effective. And so intuitively, you'd sort of expect that there might be a role for watches to reduce fatalities further. Now, since we didn't find that, is sort of an open question of where is it that watches end up benefiting the nation. And there are a number of possible ways that they could be benefiting the nation. For instance, emergency managers and television stations, I think both are aware of watches. They pay attention to watches when they're issued. I think the National Weather Service and can get spotters out. I think any changes in the watch warning system would be premature based on this one study. The warning process is a complicated process. There are many stages to it. We do know that it's working well, and so I think it would be premature based on the results of any one study to want to tinker with that process or maybe dispense with watches altogether. One thing that I think would be a reasonable implication from this current study is that if resources were made available to improve the warning process, that they'd probably be better allocated to trying to improve the warnings themselves necessarily than the watches. At this point in time, we don't have strong evidence of what the benefits of watches are. We do know the warnings save lives.